Hey, I'm back with another Software Sunday where I give you reviews of things I use. Today I want to talk about Synthmaster One. This actually isn't released yet, this is just the beta, but it is available for purchase, so I thought I'd give it a review. If you saw recently, I put up something on how to make wavetables for Synthmaster One, so let's check out the actual Synthmaster One. So one of the things I really love about this synth is it's very, very easy to use. As you can see here, everything is on one page. You have oscillator, sub, filter, and all the modulation things like the LFO, envelopes, etc. here. And then you have oscillator 2 on this side. It's only a 2 oscillator synth, but most of the time that's enough. If you want like more power, just use the normal Synthmaster. But this is made mostly to be easy to use. That's actually, I think, the great thing about it. But just because it's easy to use doesn't mean it's not powerful. There's lots of things it can do. So if you look here at the oscillator section, you see it has the basic waveforms here, but it also has lots of other ones too, like one sampled from analog synthesizers here. Let me see, like this. Or, let's see, another one from a Fatty, Moog, I believe. Okay. It's probably not interesting for me to go through every single waveform, but as you can see, there's quite a few here. And you can actually import your own, so if you have some you want to use, you can import as many as you want, and it'll show up here as like a folder here under My Waveforms. So that's a cool thing about it. And I think the real interesting thing about Synthmaster One that Synthmaster doesn't have is you're finally able to use wavetables and scan through them. So as you see here, there's quite a few. Let's do like a basic one. Let's say square saw 1. So if you move the tone knob here, you can cycle through it. So let me assign that to my pitch wheel if I can. Here we go. There we go. Now let's listen to it. So this is a great feature, and not only does it have quite a few wavetables that come with it, from analog sampled waveforms to digital stuff they made themselves, but you can also go in and you can load your own wavetables. So if you look on my channel, you'll see where I made this one myself, Chandler Guitar.
Chandler Guitar. Chandler Guitar. Chandler Guitar.
So on there I show you how you can do that yourself and make whatever you want, but you can also download them, and same thing, there's all sorts of things you can find here and do with that. If you want to know where you can find wavetables, here, I'll try to link this below, but you see here it says like 1,700 waveforms for Surum's wavetable. There's tons of them in here in just this zip file. You can download them, choose what you want from like Massive, Codex, etc. For me personally, I've never been a huge fan of Massive, but there's tons of tutorials for Massive. So when I want to find out like how do you make a sound, most of the time the tutorial is using Massive. So before I was like, how can I do this in another synth? But actually with Synthmaster One, it's not that difficult as long as you have the wavetables for it. There's a few things you can't do, so it's not a 100% replacement for Massive. But if you're someone like me who doesn't really like it and thinks it's a bit too expensive, Synthmaster One is a great alternative. And I think the same goes for Synth, I don't know, however you pronounce that, Silent One or whatever. I think it's the same thing that happens there. Obviously, it can't do everything because that's a 4 oscillator synth and this is only 2, but for the most part, I think it does most of the same thing. For me, it's a good enough substitute. Other people will, like those filters and things better, but whatever. Moving on, if you look at the algorithm here, it has like the bin plus and minus stuff here. So let me move on a different waveform so you can actually hear what this is doing. Let's try Sawtooth. And it has, that wasn't that impressive actually. It has a sync here. It has a bunch of different algorithms, so if lots of the things from Massive use this, so if you're trying to, do those Massive sounds, you can do it there. It also has unison. Let me turn this down because this will get loud. So it's 8 here, detune it. If you're wondering like why does it have that sound, change it to free running, so it's more of a super saw sound, and you can change the detuning curve like this, like here, move it down, less detuning, and here, etc. So you can set that how you want. That's kind of a nice feature. Also here, I should talk about the sub. Sub here, obviously I can play a sine wave. Let me turn this down. You can hear that. I can move this down. It's not interesting. But what is interesting is I can take this and I can do other things like FM synthesis, phase modulation. I can do ring modulation, amp modulation, etc. So there's all sorts of things you can do for that. And if you're wondering, like, hey, why didn't I see any noise waveforms there? The noise waveforms are in here. So you have like white noise, pink noise, brown noise, and then you have noise samples from analog synthesizers. So they're slightly different. So it just kind of sounds like filtered noise to me. No, I think it's not necessary, but it's kind of a cool thing to have. So the filters here, you have lots of different types of filters. Turn this on. So there's all sorts of things you can do with that. Resonance. Whoa, self-oscillating there. It's gonna blow my speakers. Sorry about that. It has ladder filters, diode ladder, state variable filters, and byte filters. So there's lots of different things you can do with that, lots of variations. It has drag and drop modulation, which is really cool. So you can just grab this and move it here and do this, and it'll go back and forth in tune with the LFO or in sync with the LFO. That's really easy and simple to do. On top of that, I'd say another great thing about it is just the library and the presets. I like what they did is probably about half modern things and half like analog stuff. So if you look in here, let's see, for the digital stuff, so you have things like this drum and bass, bass one. That kind of modern digital sound, or this. But then on the other hand, if you look in here, you can find more analog sounds. Let me find them. Where is analog? There we go, analog. It was right there, I just can't see, sorry. Here we go. That's not that analog. OVO bass, I don't know if that's analog, but it sounds cool. Let me see, pad, vintage warmth. That's the type of sound I like. Or even there's one, was it Neptune lead? This one I like. I really like that sound. I apologize for my bad keyboard playing. I can't play keyboards at all. But that's just an idea of the different sounds they have in here. They have tons more, but I don't want to go through all of them. And I'll go through here, just show you how easy it is. I want to see if I can do a preset for a pad in under a minute. Let me set my timer for a minute, and let me see if I can do it. So ready? Let's go. Go to the unison. 8, detune, turn the width up, turn the volume down, free running, change this, want a sub, actual sub, go down an octave, come on, wasting time, a little bit less, okay, change the envelope, a little bit over a second. Add some release. There we go. Now go to the filter, have the mod envelope attached to the cutoff. Oh, I need to adjust it here. Turn this down. Leave that there. Turn the attack up. Move this here. I know I ran out of time. I couldn't do it in a minute. I'm sorry, but almost had it. Have some weird release going on, or decay. I messed that up. Oh. There we go. So that's basically what I want, and I can mess with it there. I probably want to go into here and add some kind of like reverb or something to it. Mess with that. Okay, so there you go. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it in a minute. I lied. I couldn't do it in a minute, but I think you probably can. So, as I said, it's really easy to use. You saw how quickly I made that. I could probably do a pluck in the same amount of time. So, even though I can't do it in 1 minute, I can probably do it in a minute and 15 seconds. So, I think that's fast enough. And obviously, even though it's quick and it has a quick workflow, you can also make things that are quite complex. If you look here, you see the FX, you see the arpeggiator, and you see how flexible it is with the different types of filters as split, parallel, series, which I was using before, etc., and as 2 oscillators, the subs, the FM, the AM, everything you need. So I think this is a great synthesizer. I think this is going to be my new workhorse that I'm going to probably be using on almost everything. It's not the most powerful synth, but it's one you can use for about 75% to 80% of the sounds you need. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you haven't subscribed, do that. Give me a thumbs up. And until next time, see you.